Okay. Today's the 15th of May. We are halfway, just about halfway through May. It is 2:30. My stomach feels bloated. Flo's gone to Manosque to the doctor to show her x-rays of her knees. I'm bringing Tuco out for his second walk. Looks like a big band of rain coming from Lure this time. Well, depends on which way it's blowing, but it looks like rain. I can kind of smell it in the air. Hope it doesn't rain for a few minutes, as I'm wearing my lovely waistcoat that I haven't worn in years, and a nice white shirt which just flows, I think, and the jeans, so if I get wet now I'll get soaked. But yes, so halfway through May, and all the talk now is that the bars and restaurants will have the opportunity to open at the beginning of June. That seems to be the word on the street. The beginning of June. I think when the time comes it'll be kind of interesting to get back. I'm in two minds about it, to be honest. On the one hand, it's like, oh, it'll be nice to get other things in the daily routine other than getting up, doing this vlog, going home, eating, going to the computer room, and then going to bed. It'll be nice to have something else. But then on the other hand, I was wearing a homemade mask yesterday for a while, and it was just fucking impossible to wear it. It's really uncomfortable. So I don't know about all these new... You all right, Tuco? What's wrong? Ali, all these new instructions waiting for us, you know, when we get back. I mean, are they really going to expect us to put this kind of plastic screening between tables in our place? It just would be... I just don't think it'd be worthwhile. Am I going to have to wear a mask all the time in the kitchen when the summer comes in the heat, kind of suffocating behind a mask? Are customers going to be coming in, and are they going to be complaining because they don't feel safe? And then on top of all that, you've got, am I going to have Flo being in a permanent bad mood because she doesn't really want to be in the Connemara? I guess we'll have to wait and see. At the moment, bad news about returning outweighs the good news, I feel. But what's the alternative? Unless, you know, we think about different jobs again, which still fills me with the kind of dread. Because Flo says stuff like, oh, you can go and pick apples or something, you know, she'll say. You can go and work with one of the farmers and pick stuff in, like, the... I just can't see that happening. You can go to Osadan and work on the assembly line. The other day I said, well, you don't really care how I feel about doing these jobs. As long as I do a job that earns some money, you don't care about me. Because she never asks, would you like that, maybe like that, blah, blah. And then she kind of said, oh, I couldn't really, I had a nerve to say that because she'd been the one caring for me for so long, because it was only for me that she did the job in the Connemara and everything, which is not really fair either, I don't think. It's the quality of life, you see, is important. And I still think you can't beat being your own boss, even if maybe at the end of the day there is no the other things, the pension and all that stuff, the social security, maybe that's bad, but at the time when you're working, you can't beat working for yourself. That's one thing. The other thing is the amount of wonderful afternoons, and especially lately, like Tuesday, Wednesday, afternoons off, Monday off, Sunday afternoon off. I mean, it's just, the quality of life is such that there's just no way in the world I want to go back working 9 to 5 or something like that, or even working nights and working, 5 days a week. That doesn't seem to cross Flo's mind. She seems to, it doesn't matter about the free time and the working for yourself. I know it's annoying, and I'm not, although I did suggest that I could be doing the front of house if that was really annoying to her. Allez, slow coach. But she didn't want that. I kind of wish there was a way of, that things were going well in that respect, and that you were looking forward to some kind of stable future in that respect, and some kind of a stable pension when you finish. And Flo was like, yeah, we're just going to stick with this, it's fine. And so you could kind of forget about it and you go, that's my life, I'm going to carry on working here. I'm done with looking for other things. I don't think I could do any better than this. Have as much free time as this. Have something that is most of the time, 99%, stress-free. But there is always this threat, almost, of not doing this job anymore, and then starting to run out of money, and my struggling to get a job. And not just struggling to get a job, but having to apply for all kinds of jobs that I don't want to do, but it's been so long doing this that the idea of being with a boss and having a timetable and having to be somewhere at a specific time, and maybe, I guess the only thing is I wouldn't really have to put up with this shit anymore. I'm not like I used to be. It might be interesting. It may be that I could be very surprised by the change. Maybe I would find something else out there that I like. I can't think of a single thing, though. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about this. It's a pointless discussion and a pointless meditation on the subject, this one, unless I can come to some acceptance, conclusion, surrender, be comfortable with whatever happens. That's kind of the way I'm trying to be about. But I don't feel like that right now. It's irritating me. I feel quite irritated today. I slept well. But I haven't been able to find the enthusiasm to get back into Red Dead Redemption. Unfortunately, it seems to have stopped. I just can't plug the thing. I can't bring myself to plug the controller in and turn it on. There's just not enough of motivation. And also the Transport Fever, although I've got one more idea up my sleeve to try, but in the couple of games I've tried to play over the last few days, well, they haven't gone anywhere. I haven't particularly got into them. I've basically been letting the simulation just run as I've been doing other things. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that, really you don't have to do anything. And your city will grow a bit. To go barking in there. Allez. Your city will grow regardless, and you'll have traffic jams regardless of you doing anything, and it makes me even more kind of wonder if this simulation and the busy streets haven't really got that much to do with anything you do, because in this place even the train station I put in didn't work, so I got rid of it. So there's nothing. There's just some building materials and some bread being delivered to 2 towns. Let's go this way, Tuco. That was it. I had 2 towns with a couple of lines of supply, and then I connected the other towns via reasonably good 2-way roads. What's this? Tractor? Allez. Careful, Tuco. Careful. Don't get in there. The river is looking very powerful. Allez. Allez. We'll go and find another place where you can drink the water and get your paws wet. Just right here, it's you can see, can't you? You can tell by the colour it's extremely mucky, and it's extremely high. Although it's not raining here, it's obviously raining all over the place, so the amount of water running down from the hills and from other places, it's a lot, because that river is really big. Yeah, so I didn't get into the game, and it did seem to suggest to me that when you get to 1950, something happens. When you get to 1960, something happens. You can really just sit back in your chair with your hands behind your head and just look and not do anything. And okay, things are not going to expand as quickly as they will if you start supplying all the stuff, but at the same time, I was getting traffic jams all over the place, and I hadn't really done anything. This is the point I've been making about all of these games from the beginning. I'll have to do a video on that just to vent. Does the AI in Transport Fever or Tropico and such games, does it actually work? when you hear people talking on the forums and they're going about, oh, people want to get to here and you have to do this and you have to put the bus stop here, and they're talking about stuff, but the makers of the game never ever mention that in any of the tutorials or in any of the bits you can read about the game. It's not mentioned. It's just the instructions are incredibly vague, you know. And so I think what happens is the imagination of the players is a lot greater than the imagination of the developers. Tuco, stop. Don't go too far away, Tuco. Wait for me to catch up. And so guys come up with all kinds of theories and schemes for why this works and what you have to do to get that to work. And actually, none of it works because there isn't any of that programming in the game. I've always felt this in these type of games. There's no depth, which is the big problem. There's no depth. I wouldn't mind, and I'm sure there's probably 1 million people like me that would love the idea of having a game that you can really micromanage, that you can get into, that your decisions have an effect. And it doesn't matter if it makes the game more complicated or difficult. Where are you, Tuco? But in a game like Transport Fever or Tropico, like I say, I just watched the simulation play. I didn't do anything. I had one little supply chain going to get just to make some money so I wouldn't go bankrupt. And then I just sat back and watched the game play. I didn't keep it, unfortunately. And not really wasn't much to look at anyway. But the thing is, once it got up to around 1980, close to 1980, 1990, I just started having traffic jams everywhere. The town started to grow anyway. I didn't do anything. But I noticed that the map and the streets, they started to look exactly like in the previous game, and I was making all this effort to increase the towns and increase the industries. So this time I thought it was almost like, well, look at that. You didn't have to do anything to increase traffic. It was going to increase itself. So maybe that's the way it's meant to be, and I'm sure if anybody was watching this video, there'd be plenty of people that would say, oh, you just don't understand the game. It is quite deep, but I have yet to watch a video, and I have yet to play one of these games where that's proven to be a fact. You know, if I go back to the SimCity game from 2013, they have this overlay which shows the workers and shoppers and what you need and what you know. And if you have 100 people in your town, it kind of works. But if you have 1,000 people, it just makes no sense at all. Tropico, well, I mean, I think surely everybody would agree that Tropico, there is no economy in Tropico. You start off and you're delivering stuff to the ships, and then after a while, when the game starts to develop, you have just a figure in the left-hand corner or whatever it is, and it's just random fucking numbers going around. Just random numbers. It makes no sense. And then in the Tropico game I played anyway, you know, at one point everybody's happy, and then the next minute everybody's just left their job and all the businesses are vacant for no reason, no explanation, nothing. So if anybody tells me that Tropico makes sense, then I have to say you're not really paying attention enough. You're kind of, I think you're fooling yourself. It's still a nice game to build. It's very nice to look at, Tropico. But the thing it'd be great if somebody with some expertise in the real world of economics or the real world of city management could perhaps, they could be loaned out, you know, be given a big check by the developers. What's wrong, Tuco? What's wrong? Tuco, where are you going? Where are you going? You can't go in there. He's just going into the big grass. This way. That's too high for you, Tuco. You can't even see where you're going. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah. Because it'd be so cool to find a city building game that also had all those elements of supply, demand, the road structure, infrastructure, but one that actually made sense, one that where you know, if you do certain things, it just has consequences. If you educate the people, then there'll be a certain type of industry. If you don't supply enough of something, let's say it's fuel, and if you don't supply the fuel, the electricity won't work, and then the electricity won't work, so that has a knock-on consequence. But it's, I don't know, maybe I don't understand the way these, but to me it doesn't seem to be an impossibility to do this, because it's a bit like maths or something. It's the kind of stuff you think computers, programmers and things love, you know, because it's a logical kind of step-by-step thing. It's not, you're not talking about multiple choices or emotions. It's kind of very logical. I've yet to see a game that will have anything like that with any depth. Yes. I've got one more idea for Transport Fever, though. I still love the look of the game, I have to say. And I may start playing it my own way. I may forget about the kind of so-called objectives of the game and just play it and try and get things to look nice. You know, run a railway all along the sea coast or the river bank or something. Just find some other way of playing it. But the one idea I have is that I really enjoyed the map that I made myself with the two towns, and they got very big. And even though, like I just said, if I just left those towns and did nothing, you would have probably had just the same amount of traffic. But I'd like to do the same thing again, maybe this time with three different towns. But this time, because what happened last time was I got the town to a certain size, around 1,200, and I couldn't make it grow any more. But I think the reason may have been is that my factories were at maximum production. I mean, everything was just flat out, which was pretty cool to get to that, where everything is just totally, all the blue lines are at their full, you know. So I reckoned, but again, I don't know if this would work or not, that if I had another factory, I could maybe have started sending more stuff, and perhaps then the towns would have grown some more. So I'd like to try that. Let you go. Maybe put 3 different towns, put them very far away, so that if people are traveling from one town to the next, it's like a long way to go. And see what happens. I mean, whatever. There is a real relaxation in the beginning of these games. It's a bit like Tropico, I remember, at the beginning. It was really pleasant playing just the very early stages of it. Otherwise, though, yeah, it's a bit... Thank God for the Red Media guys. Last night I was listening to their show for about 2 hours. One, they were talking about some movies, I can't remember, and then there was an hour and a half talking about the latest Star Wars, the one that came out at Christmas. The Rise of the Jedi or whatever, I can't remember. I didn't see it. But except for those guys, I didn't really have anything. Oh, and I've been uploading I've been uploading these audio files actually. That's becoming another lifesaver in a way, because I've got 4 thumbnails to make, and there is a certain creativity in it I like, and there is a certain pleasure. There's a little not explosion, but a little kind of the good chemical in the brain is released. There's that little bit of, what's it called, dopamine or something. Whenever I upload something, it just gives me a little burst of, yeah, that's good. And so I will keep doing that, and by God, have I got plenty of stuff to upload. I've passed 70 different files on this device, and they're not all 5 minutes either. Most of them are about 40 minutes. But I found a way of using the PowerDirector to transfer the file to MP3 where it's quite light and easy to upload. I can upload it easily enough from here. Whereas if it was a gigabyte or something, it would take about 4 hours to upload something with the Wi-Fi connection we have at home. But yep, don't feel in the best form. I'm not. Well, let's just see what happens, I suppose, this evening. I'll go back and have some toast and watch some news. Alright, Tuco, be careful you don't get stung there, Tuco. Huh? You're a good boy. You're so quiet, Tuco, and there's nobody around. I can again see lots of rain in the distance, but we've been seeing it for 2 days. It just never seems to get here. Although looking at it now, it might be quite close to Orizon. We've got that wonderful sheet of rain going all the way across the distance. So that's my walk. Oh boy, can you hear me? I guess you can hear me. I've got my lapel mic attached to the waistcoat, which is quite nice because this clip is not really designed for attaching to big, thick coats and things. It's a very small little clip. It's really just to attach to a shirt or something. And so, because the material here is quite thin, it works quite well. It doesn't really matter, about the games, and I still think I'm going to upload a video to Vent on my Opinion Day channel. I'd love feedback on that subject. I've been making comments like that all over the place for years, but it'd really be nice to get some feedback. Because with Transport Fever it looks great. There's a great challenge in transporting things, obviously, especially if you've got awkward places on the map. I mean, and you're trying to figure out how do I get that from there to there. It's enough of a challenge and enough of a game in that. But it's just a bit of a dead end game. Because the rewards for getting the stuff, I guess that's kind of where it breaks down a bit. There isn't really much of a reward. And of course, if towns grow and develop regardlessly, then it's kind of like there really isn't any reward. You move more people around and you get more money, but I think someone did say, which I thought was really harsh at the time, kind of said it's kind of just the same old boring game. And I thought, how could you call this boring with all the wonderful graphics and the wonderful models? But if you're playing the game for, just because you really want to beat the game, you're not interested in all that stuff, then I can understand now how that would be, how that person would think that. Stop, Tuco. Stop. Because there isn't really any payoff. You just deliver the stuff, town gets bigger, and inevitably you have just total fucking traffic jams all over the place, and that's it. If you could even unlock things, by getting a town over a certain amount, you were able to unlock special buildings or something. Tuco, stop. Wait for me. Goodbye. You're not to go to the road on your own. Wait. Stop. Stay. Stop. Stop. That dog is stubborn. Okay. Otherwise it's nice, but like I say, nothing happens, Stop, Tuco, stop. I don't know, maybe if you get way over 1,000 you get different skyscrapers and things coming, I guess, but from what I've looked at online as well, it's just, stop. When you get over 1,000 and you get those kind of builds, that's kind of it, really. There's a certain pointlessness to it all. Allez. It's a shame there wasn't more systems in play. You have to deliver food to here, the town grows here. I like SimCity in a sense that there's much more organic stuff happening in the town, and you can do more about it. Maybe you have a police force, a health service, and your own economy. You can go into that town. You can play around with the supply chain in the town. You can export stuff to other towns. Allez. Anyway, I was going to say it doesn't matter, Just because I stop, even if I stop playing this game tomorrow, even if I don't go back to Red Dead Redemption, there's always something else that will come along. That's the way it is. There's always something around the corner. Allez, Tuco. Let's give you dinner. No, I don't know if that's very interesting. That was just me talking about fucking transport fever and whinging about getting another job if the Connemara finishes. There are a few topics I spoke about that I have spoken about already 100 times. 100 times. But that's the problem, I suppose, when you're in that kind of a humor, you attract those particular files, You attract the negative stuff. Goodbye. So instead of talking about how good it would be to do this or that, you just think of the bad part of it. There you go, Tuco. You really seem to be tired now. Are you? Whoops. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Just slipped out of my hand. I don't think I'm going to feed you yet. Oh my God, I'm not. It's only 3:15. I mean, it's only 25 past 3, but... I'm going to give you one of these lovely sticks that you love. And then I'm going to take my spectacles off and turn the laptop on. Unfortunately, that's really that's it. I mean, that's this desk. Full of crumbs and everything, and you just can't keep it clean. I had some polish, but apparently it's not really, you don't have to use that polish here, you need something else. It needs to be varnished, I think. But if you eat in a room like that, sooner or later everything's going to get fucking dirty. Yeah. Shall I leave the door open a bit for you, Tuco? You want to see outside? Voila. There you go. Yeah, I don't know if that's doing any good or not. Just turn the laptop on so I can have some tea and toast and you know, usual. 3:30. I do like my rig out right now, and I like the fact that you can drop this little digital thing into my waistcoat pocket. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool look I have at this moment. Pretty cool look. I should take a picture of myself, really. Just to, let's try and do that. Just for prosperity. Oops. What did I get there? I got something from Flow. Seems to be a video.
When I arrive in advance and I'm not allowed to wait in the hospital, I have to arrive just a few minutes before my appointment.
Oh dear.
So that's the beautiful sky that you can take in photo today. It's lovely, yeah? Lovely shapes, things like that. And that's the hospital. And all the clouds over there. Lovely. Voila, just waiting. Have a nice walk with Tuco. Bye.
I'm going to send her a message back. I'm going to sing a Doors song to her. That'll cheer her up. Although she's probably well in. Waiting, 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 waiting for you to come along. Waiting for you to tell me what went wrong. This is the strangest life I've ever known. Wash your hair! Pardon me if I'm sentimental when we say goodbye. Don't be angry with me should I cry. When you're gone, and I'll dream a little dream as years go by. Now and then there's a fool such as I. Pardon me if I'm sentimental when we say goodbye. Don't be angry with me should I cry. When you're gone, and I'll dream a little dream as years go by. Now and then there's a fool such as I. Sentimental when we say goodbye. Don't be angry with me should I cry. When you're gone, and I'll dream a little dream as years go by. Now and then there's a fool such as I. That's great! That's great! That's great! That's great! That's great! Oh fuck, I'm still recording. Oh my god. Sorry about that, I temporarily, momentarily lost my mind. So this one started off quite gloomy and dull and depressing, and there you go. That's a good example of the way small things can change. You never know what's the where, why. You never know what's around the corner. You sing a little song, you do a little effect, you get a little video from your wife, and all of a sudden you start to feel okay again. So there you go. Never give up. Never surrender. You never know what's around the corner. Okay, so goodbye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.